Here we go with the Tri-State Audi Knicks post-game show. Knicks in the heat tonight. RJ Barrett, spectacular. A career-high 46, 30 of which came in the first half. But Tyler Hero off the Miami bench for 25. The Knicks bench totaled 18. Jimmy Butler, 23 for Miami. Posting up RJ there, and Miami wins 115 to 100. The final score, Knicks back off the All-Star break with a home loss. Great to have you with us from our Delta MSG studios. Great to have everyone here. Bill Pito, Monica McNutt, Alan Hahn, and Wally Zerbiak. Wally's going first. What do you have? RJ was great. What else?
Well, I'll start with the positives. It was a very entertaining basketball game, but the problem is, despite RJ's career performance, just awesome to watch, incredible the way he played against an elite defender in Jimmy Butler, the Knicks just, they find ways to lose. I mean, Julius Randle, coming into the All-Star break, was on a historic run where he was averaging 30 points, 10 rebounds a game for almost 7, 8 straight games through the West Coast trip. Then he comes out tonight and he shoots 2 for 13. And they need him to just play somewhat like that to help out RJ Barrett, and they could have gotten a win against the best team in the East, or, you know, the second place team in the East by a half a game. This is just a tough loss. I mean, this team has a very small margin for error. You know, they're thin at a lot of positions. RJ was heroic in the fact that it didn't lead to a win. It was an awesome effort, but I know as a player it hurts to have a game like this and not win.
Free throws are going to haunt RJ Barrett on a night like this. He easily could have had a 50-point game. Against a team like the Heat, how hard they play, they will foul you. I can't believe you said this was a very entertaining game. There was 71 free throw attempts and 58 fouls. Like, normally you don't like stuff like that. That's really what I talk about, fouls and free throws and all that stuff. But you saying it, no, but you're right, the second half became entertaining.
RJ Barrett had 46 points.
Because he,
a homegrown Knick draft pick had 46 points.
And really could have had 50.
Are you not entertained by that, Hahn?
Yes, that part I am. I'm just surprised with you because normally I'm the guy talking about fouls all the time and you hate that stuff. So you just caught me off guard. The Knicks bench, fourth quarters continue to be a problem. Knicks in the last 8 games, minus 70 in the fourth quarter in their last 8 games. Minus 70. It used to be the third quarter.
That is the most useful stat of all time.
Oh,
it's now the fourth quarter.
I got useful for you.
That is the most
9 turnovers through 3 quarters. 9 turnovers in the fourth quarter.
And that, Pito, is where I was going to go.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
Because it's a 5-point game at the end of the third quarter. You're going to get RJ Barrett back into the ballgame after he picked up that 4th foul and had to miss the last few minutes of the third. Poise. How do you have 9 turnovers in 3 quarters and 9 in the fourth? And not just 9.
I know.
Before you answer, one second before you answer. Not just 9 turnovers, but probably just off of my basketball eyes, at least 5 of them were live ball turnovers that turned into transition points. Now, please, Alan, answer your question.
It's easy. You don't have a point guard.
Oh, yeah, that part.
You don't have a point guard. Your 2 point guards that you started the season
Ryan
with.
Arcidiacono.
Oh, God.
Come on now.
Deuce, somebody.
Ryan Arcidiacono was a heck of a point guard. Villanova won a national championship. He's going to be getting a chance real soon.
Ryan, come on down. Somebody's got to take this job. But it's all about that. It's all about having the brain, the maestro that can set up an offense, that can make the right decisions. And what you're seeing are guys who are trying. They're a guy, like, you're asking guys to do things that's not in their comfort zone. And you're looking at numbers and saying, well, the numbers look good here, and the numbers tell you this, the numbers tell you that. But in the clutch, the numbers tell you a completely different story, which is you don't execute offense because you don't have that position. And 2 of them, Kemba Walker, Derrick Rose, those were the guys you were going with this year as your 1 and 2. They're both out right now. You don't have one, and that's been the story all season. It won't change.
Okay, so I hear you on that. My only counter is that has been the existence of this team for a large part of the season. And when you watch the turnovers, it essentially was the Miami Heat saying, oh, they're going to look for either Julius or RJ, and we're going to jump this passing line. And it was that simple. Then you had some funky lobs, and I don't know what that was in terms of the play calling in the half court set, but yes.
All right, Derrick Rose, reportedly an ankle infection. 1 to 2 weeks, could be back. That obviously will be good news. Expectation and hope was what he would be able to return tonight. We keep talking about how important he might be able to be, but he, as Alan mentioned, and we've talked about all night, couldn't come back. Kemba Walker is done for the season. So, you know what? RJ Barrett scored the 46, and Wally, he had the ball in his hands a lot tonight, more than we normally see starting the offense.
And that's a good thing. He played a little bit of point in college, when they needed him to. He can handle that, but he's not a pure point, which is fine. He's going to look to score at all costs, and it was great to see this kind of performance. That ankle injury just came out of left field late in that Denver game, and he rested up. He got it strong. He took the All-Star break to get right, and this is what is impressive about R.J. Barrett, to come off the break after an injury and have this type of performance. I mean, wow. I mean, this was just fun to watch. He was
getting to the rack, right?
Game. Yeah.
Just getting to the rack.
And knocking down the threes. 6 for 11
6 for
from
11.
three. That
Big
second
deal.
quarter, he was just lighting it up. The Heat had no defender that could really slow him down. I mean, this is a complete mismatch. He overpowers Tyler Hero. Obviously, Jimmy Butler was the guy that can defend him, but he had Jimmy Butler's number tonight, too. That was just a great performance, and it's good to see R.J. Barrett doing all these things out there on the floor. It's just so brutal that it's not translating to wins, because his game has really, really taken off in the last couple months, and the Knicks, as a team, haven't, and that's just really perplexing.
Monica, I feel like what it's doing, though, is it's starting to create now for the rest of the season, as he's had a great January.
Yeah.
He's scoring 20 a game. He gives you a 46-point game that easily could have been a 50-point game. Easily could have been. And as you're watching the rest of the season, he continues to make that case of, this is my team. I'm the guy taking third overall. This is my team. And he starts to emerge as a guy that wants to prove that. And he did tonight. He proved that he can be a guy that can carry an offense. It would be nice if the second leading scorer wasn't at 13 points. You just need a little more from some other people. But I think he's kind of trying to show you he can be that guy.
I agree. I think what stood out to me, though, in terms of whether it's RJ who's hot or insert any other Knick player that has the hot hand, is the offense still was a little bit stagnant. Like in the fourth quarter, when you're looking to make that run, I get it. There's a screen action happening, and then there's a clear out. And a couple times the ball did swing to find an open shooter in the corner. But overall, I think because you don't have a pure point guard still, it may be too far gone in this particular season, but maybe a little bit more movement helps everybody. Because before RJ has become this aggressive, I'm going to go get it guy, initially we talked about how well he plays off the basketball, right? And tonight there seemed to be...
Well, he had the ball in his hands a lot.
Give him the ball.
And so tonight there seems to be a little disconnect between RJ and Julius, we'll say, in terms of the scoring ability. And obviously, if Julius can give you 18 instead of 11, maybe that's the punch you need to help you get over the hump.
Yeah, and I'll add to it is that, I know I keep harping on it, but it's just this offseason, it's got to be the priority.
It's got to be.
A point guard
Absolutely.
would recognize this guy's got it. Let's just let's get him open. Let's find him places in his spots. Let's get him his matchups. Let's get him the switches, whatever it is. And let's just keep riding the hot hand and not go away from it. And at times, as Monica pointed out in this game, all of a sudden it's like, whoa, how are you not getting RJ the ball? Like, he's red hot right now. And I think that's why you need that maestro that can recognize it and always, like I always go back to Jason Kidd, how smart he was as a player, just understood. We got a good matchup here. We're going to feed this until they adjust, and then now we'll go over here once they adjust to that.
Right. One of the Knicks' young players hurt tonight, Wally. Quentin Grimes, first half, right after he was put into the game. Right knee injury. They're calling it a patella subluxation. That's something that you had. Now, not all of the injuries are the same when you diagnose it like that, but what does this mean? Because you went through it yourself.
Yeah, it's listen, I'm not going to try to be a doctor here, but there are variances of it. It depends on how bad of a subluxation it was. And in my case, it ended up having to lead to surgery because it continued to occur. Now, you can normally do some kind of rehab where it's going to be okay.
It wasn't really contact, was it?
No.
The other knee contacted there. Yeah, you see the move on the screen there going down.
Yeah, it's when he catches it, he bends it down, you kind of feel it just pop over. It's the worst. It's a really scary feeling, especially the first time you do it because your body's not used to it being that lax, the ligaments and all the tendons around that part of the knee. But the fact that it's a subluxation, that means it kind of went back into place, which is a good sign. And now you got to figure out a way to strengthen the muscles, loosen up the IT band, whatever you need to do to keep that patella tracking on its course.
Medical school.
Dr. Zerbiak.
I had surgery after my rookie year, going into my second year because of that thing. A lateral release.
Okay, well, I
don't think he's good. I hope he's not going to need that. That's when it keeps coming out, and it becomes a chronic thing that you can't keep it in place.
Right.
Sometimes
So
you can wear a brace that can help.
I was just about to say similar. I had it in my shoulder, and I wore a brace to finish out college. I didn't do surgery.
14 seconds in this game. 14 seconds. There's another player that, as you're watching this season, that you just want to see. RJ finished the season strong. you want to see Grimes continue to grow for the rest of the season as well.
Definitely.